Hey guys, welcome back to the Perpetual Podcast. I hope you're well and I hope you've been enjoying the sunshine if you're in the UK. I have. I've absolutely loved it recently. I went away to Portugal, I think was the last time I spoke to you guys. And I got a tan then, and the tan keeps coming. I am here today, as you know, from the episode title, to talk about something that is kind of close to my heart in a way. And it's very apt for me right now because, well, when I say close to my heart, I don't mean, you know what I mean? It's something that feel quite strongly about. And we're a few days away from me starting a new job. So this is very apt for me right now because it's something that, if you have been following my career journey, my, wellness journey, whatever, you will know how stressed I get and how much worth I tie into my job, my appearance, doing everything right, doing everything not wrong. You know what I mean? It's all those kind of things that tie in together. So today I'm here to talk about how to reinvent yourself, you know, if you want to have a glow up, for example, and we'll get onto this, but in the right way, and make sure you're doing it safely, make sure you're doing it for the right reasons as well. And yeah, I wanted to share kind of a bit of background to it and how I deal with it too. But first of all, I want to get into a few little updates for you. Not a lot, but I know I've not spoken to you guys in a while and I've kind of skipped the whole life update segment in the last few episodes. So we're going to get back to it. So as I said, going into a new job is coming up very, very soon. It's based in London. I think I've talked about it a little bit. I've not said who it's for. I don't think I'm going to this time, but starting a new job, it's based in London. And for me, it's a 2-hour train journey plus a 40-minute tube to get there. It's going to be a long commute, but you guys know I worked in Leeds over the last 8 months, so I'm used to it. It's twice a week in the office, which is fine. It's not too bad. I want to be a London girl. I think I can really fit into the London girl vibe. Even though, I'll be there twice a week. I'll be staying with my brother, hopefully, on a Wednesday night. I'm in on a Wednesday and Thursday, which the only downside is that pub quizzes are on a Thursday. But maybe once a month I can change that day, hopefully. Only downside to it, but it's all good. But I'm starting that job next week. I thought I'd be in on the Monday as my first day. Got an email from my line manager saying, no, we're typically in Mondays and Thursdays. Your laptop's being delivered to you this week. I'll see you online Monday. And I was like, okay. And literally an hour later, the laptop came through. So very, very quick and very, I don't know if it's prepared or not. And they said that most of the team are on annual leave or away or doing stuff. So it's going to be quite a quiet week, but it'll be good for you to just catch up on everything, kind of get into the whole work world again. So I'm very looking forward to that aspect of things, but it's scary because it's very new. I'm not stressed about the job because it's that kind of thing where, you know, if we compare it back to school or uni, maybe not even uni, but school, you know, over the summer, well, I was a very high achiever, which I'll get onto too, but obviously high achiever, I've spoken about this quite a lot. So over summer, I'd be revising. And before I went back to school, especially like later into school, like year 10 onwards, when we had like GCSEs, A-levels, I'd be revising and prepping like over summer, or like towards the end of summer to go back to school to make sure that I still remembered everything and that I was still like up to scratch. But the difference is going into a job, you don't prepare anything, especially if it's something that you've done before. Like, you know, I'm in social media, I'm doing pretty much the same job as I did in my last company as well. So I don't need to prepare anything, you know, and because I don't know how they're going to run I'm doing ads, so I don't know how they're going to be running their ads. I'm going to learn that, and it's just a whole learning curve. You don't have to prepare, but I'll get onto it as well that I'm preparing my mindset. It's a bit different. Another thing is that very, very, very soon, my other podcast is going live with my boyfriend. I've mentioned it before and I'll keep mentioning it to make sure we get some viewers on it, or some listeners on it, called Fucked Up Fridays. I don't know how that podcast is going to go about. We have an Instagram and it doesn't blur out the F word on it, so I'm assuming it will be fine. The title is very apt for me and my boyfriend. We are very pub people. I've spoken about the pub in literally every episode, oh my god, but very pub people. If you've seen it, our little logo is a Guinness and an espresso martini, like our favourite drinks. I love the logo. I made that in about 10 minutes. Don't know how. I was bored one night. It was like 2 a.m. I was like, oh, I'm awake. I'm going to design our whole brand. But that is going live, I want to say, next week. I really, really, really hope it. I'm hoping to edit the first couple of episodes this weekend before I start my job, because I'm not going to have time. But yeah, and that's been the whole thing over the last few weeks. I've been trying to get as much content done, as much everything done, things like cleaning my car or selling stuff on Vinted, clearing out my clothes, that kind of thing. I've been trying to get all that done over the last few weeks of me being on a mini holiday. Not got most of it done, to be honest. I've cleaned my car, but now it's dirty again. And it passed the MOT, which is another good thing. But yeah, so looking forward to doing that. But it has been a bit of a graft the last 2 weeks, trying to get everything done. I've got loads of inquiries through this week as well, which is really annoying me for social media and managing their accounts. And I'm like, I'm not going to have the time. But it's all good. I'm looking forward to starting a new job and having a different routine, a different mindset. And I'll get into that as well. A little update on what I've been doing, other than that, the fun side of things. I've been doing a lot. Actually, I think the last time I spoke to you was about different sports, me saying how much I've been doing recently. That's stuff that I don't usually do. And it's been great. And the whole thing, last episode I was talking about stepping away from the gym kind of exercise and getting back into sports and getting back into doing just a little something every day, or not even every day, like I can have rest days, but not labelling it as that, just having fun and not thinking about movement all the time. And it's a different stage in recovery. And, that was a little recap of the last episode, I guess, but doing different things all the time with different people as well, keeping that social aspect of it. A few days ago, me and my boyfriend went to Thorpe Park. 2 weeks ago, I went to Alton Towers with my mum. It's again getting this kind of thing out my system before I go back to work as well. So that was really good. Thorpe Park, they've got the new ride, Hyperia. If you've not been yet, you need to go. It's the best ride I've ever been on. My family and my boyfriend's family are very roller coastery, thrill seekers, whatever you want to call it. It's such a good ride. I've not been on one like it. And I've been to Florida, Tampa, so like Busch Gardens, Universal, where they have big coasters. I think it was better than them, honestly, and that's my opinion. I don't know if I've said before that I love roller coasters, but yeah, I do. I've been brought up to love them, really. So, but yeah, it's been a very fun month, but I am ready, I think, to get back into work. Yeah, okay, I'm going to miss the kind of moments, like I've just said, like being able to go on a day out somewhere, being able to go over to someone's house for a couple of drinks in the afternoon, play some rounders or hockey and stuff like that I've been doing. I'm going to miss that side of it, but then I know that I have my weekends. I can do that. I work from home 3 times a week, so I can fit it in the evening. So it's that kind of thing that, yeah, things are going to change, but I do love work. I do love a routine, but again, we'll get onto that. I do love doing these things. But yeah, that's a little update. Not a lot really happening in my life, to be honest. I don't really know what else has been happening. My parents went away for a week, so I had the house to myself, which was lovely. I had Gary back, my little cat Gary. I speak about him quite a lot. He's an absolute legend. Yes, he is called Gary, if you're new here. He's a little tabby, not little, he's a fat cat. I don't use the F word that often, but he is a fat cat, I will say that. That is my fault, I do overfeed him. But it gives me the puppy dog eyes, and I really, really want to feed him. So, but me and mum picked him up, I think I've said before, back in January from the rescue centre. Yeah, he's the family cat. My dad and sister both live here still, but still my dad's always going to live here. My sister's still here still as well. So me and mum picked him up, so he loves me and mum. So whenever one of us is away, we like switch mum roles to him. And he's my cat at the moment, which I love, although he's currently shut out of my bedroom because he will come and annoy me while I try and record this in record time, because I've got a lot to do. It's Thursday and I start work on Monday. Got a lot to be doing. Anyway, let's get into the episode. So as you can see from the episode title and what I've kind of already mentioned, today I want to talk about the idea of a glow up, or, the new trends that come about having to be a better you every day, or I don't know, these wellness trends that keep piling up again and again. And I thought on social media, on trends, we were past this. I thought we were entering, I know it's another trend, but the kind of soft girl era. I don't think we are. We're stepping more back into the toxic routines, the morning routines, the night routines that we have to so religiously follow. And I don't know whether it's just me, but I'm fed up of it. I really hope at some point for the next generation, people stop following trends on social media, but it's not going to happen, If you look back in the 1900s, 1800s, since before time, especially when fashion came about, I'm trying to think of a good example here, but whatever the royals were wearing, or the higher up in society people were wearing, like the dresses, the corsets, everyone would follow that as much as they could with, how much money they had. But trends have always been a thing. But when they become, I'm not saying a corset isn't toxic, but when they become so ingrained in us that we have to do it, otherwise we're an outcast or we're not going to fit in, that's where my discomfort comes from, I guess. And I've just posted a blog post about this too, and it's such a difficult time because the generation below me, so I'm a Gen Z, I'm 21, almost 22, generation below me, the one below that, like my boyfriend has a 14-year-old sister. Her generation is going to be even more obsessed with how they look, how they act, how people like them, and it's going to be so much more ingrained than it already is in our society. I feel quite, I won't say lucky, but I'm so happy, I guess, that I grew up, technology was a thing, so laptops were a thing, mobile phones, but smartphones weren't quite a thing yet. I don't know when the first iPhone came out. I want to say it was like 2007, maybe a little bit earlier. I was born in 2003, and I'm so thankful that I wasn't born into the world of smartphones and then later social media. And MySpace were a thing, but I was too young or busy to get into that thing anyway when it was all a thing. I remember my mum scrolling on Facebook on her laptop, before a smartphone was really there, or before, apps were a thing too. I'm so thankful that I was brought up in that world. Now you see iPad kids, you see parents giving their children, babies, 2-year-olds, the iPad in the pushchair while they're on a day out, while they're walking around. They're not taking in the scenery, they're not taking in the really important things, and I could go into psychology here, but like the important things that are around them that they notice and they'll remember, and the touch, the senses, all of that kind of thing. I'm so thankful that I've not been brought up in that world. I have, but I didn't have a phone, or I think I had an iPod when I was younger, but I didn't have a phone until I was in secondary school. iPad came about then. I wasn't always on it. I was on my laptop a lot. I played Minecraft a lot, but my mum knew that I'd go outside still. I still played sport. I still did things. But now kids aren't going to do that. Kids aren't going to go play football in the garden with their friends. They're not going to go outside in a little cul-de-sac to play any kind of ball game. I don't know. They're not going to do that. They're going to go around to their friend's house and play on the Xbox. Or they're just going to do it from their own house and just, call each other. Which, I remember my brother doing that when I was younger. He'd be on Skype. And Skype has actually, I think it was this year, Skype has just been bankrupt, or it's just been, they've just got rid of it. Only this year. I thought it went years ago, but I'd remember, and I hated that ring. Teams is annoying, but Skype was worse. My brother was downstairs and his Skype call was going with his group of friends. But anyway, I remember him doing that from the age of 12, I want to say, and that was a big thing back then. Like, I remember my parents being like, that's so cool, but also stay off the bloody Wi-Fi. But yeah, anyway, on a rant here, but I am happy that I wasn't brought up in that kind of mindset, but I was brought up when Instagram was a thing. Instagram came about at the end of primary school for me. You had to be 12, 13 to have it at the time. Obviously, loads of people were on it. My mum didn't let me on Instagram or Snapchat till about year 8, which I think, looking back, I love that because it wasn't quite a thing yet. I wanted to fit in, but it wasn't quite a big thing yet either. But it's not just about social media with these trends, I think. It's going back to my time at school. And we're going on to the glow up thing, I would honestly, every summer, try and have a glow up. That was when, I think I was looking at Pinterest or trying to remember who I used to follow. And they'd always talk about having a glow up. Like, this was before podcasts were a thing as well, but this was probably watching YouTube videos. And I'd always go and change my hair. Like, I've bleached my hair since I was 13. I started with an ombre, then gradually got higher and higher up. But I've always done that. And I think it's because I did like the hairstyle, but it was also to kind of stand out with me, who has quite bushy, dark eyebrows and have bleached blonde hair. But it was also to fit in, to be a blonde girl, you know what I mean? And it didn't really fit in with my persona of being such an academic. If you want to look at stereotypes, I'm not a blonde girl. I am now that I'm out of academia and I don't try as hard. But with that overachieving nature of mine, I also used it to fit in. I used it to be this person who would have to follow the trends. I wasn't in the main popular group, but because I was sporty, I was on the outside. I could happily sit with them for lunch, you know what I mean? I was that kind of floater, but I had my own group as well. But I still, because of that, I wanted to fit in more. So I'd throw parties and invite everyone in the year, and people probably thought that was a bit weird, but I would do that because I was in that middle kind of floater group in the school where I could do that and I could try and fit in that way. It's a bit sad. It's really sad that I did that. But every summer I'd write a list of everything I wanted to do. And that would be, you know, at the start, it would be changing my hair, buying the new expensive makeup, or that kind of way round. It would be not necessarily my body, but it would be still how I looked. You know, my face more so, my hair. Trying new hairstyles, trying new, I don't know, new clothes as well would be a thing. Making sure I had the superstars, the Adidas superstars, or when Adidas NMDs were a thing too. Remember, they were the first shoe I bought and they were like £200. I remember that. Would not buy them now, but all these things that I'd do to try and fit in. And it would be to fit in not with just the girls in my year, but also my brother, who's 2 years older than me, but also his group as well. So it would be wearing Adidas or Nike or that, you know, like trying to be trendy with the like kind of more boy brands as well. As I said about shoes, it would be that kind of thing too. So I was trying to fit in with so many different people, so it didn't work. You know, I don't really care now, and that's what I'm trying to get onto. But as I grew into my later teens, as we all know how this story ended, it would be about my body. It would be about, okay, I need abs this year, I need a thigh gap next year, and I'd spend all summer on holiday as well, doing these workouts, or, you know, back at the start it wasn't as intensive, but I'd try and get a thigh gap, I'd try and do this I think it was with my kind of like base background in always having to be the best, like have the best grades, have the best exam scores, whatever. It would be that as well. Like I always wanted the best abs or the best hair. Like I wanted to be the only one with abs, the only one with ombre hair. It was that kind of thing too. I wanted to stand out, but to be popular, I think was the way I wanted to do it. But yeah, I grew into the whole body thing and the reinventing myself every summer. People talk about it a lot more as having a glow up for summer, you know, April, May time, people get into the gym. Like that's a massive time where people start the gym to get ready for a summer holiday or a wedding and things like that. And that's okay. You know, I don't hate on it as much as I used to when I was at the start of recovery and I hated everything that was to do with dieting and everything. If people want to do that yo-yo thing where every summer they lose weight for the holiday and then they gain it back over winter, it works for some people. You know, you think about shredding and bulking. Not shredding, cutting and bulking in the gym. It's the same kind of thing, but they just say, no, I'm a gym person. No, you're doing the same thing. It's still a yo-yo diet. It's so interesting that people do that though. I'm not going to do that. Okay, I don't know when my wedding day will be, or if I ever have one, you know what I mean? But I might, you know, lose a bit of weight for my wedding. I don't know, but I think what I've been through, I really hope I don't. I don't think I will. I think I'm at a stage where I don't need to do that and I look good however I look. I mean, right now I'm in, you know, I'm a mess. I need to get stuff done. I'm in joggers. My hair is disgusting. I've had it in braids for the past 3 days. It's tied up. I've got a headband on. I don't look great, but to me, I'm still me. I still look like me. I don't look bad. Saying I don't look great is a bit of an exaggeration. I look fine. I look cute. I don't care. I'm at home. Even I'm going to go out to get my nails done in a minute looking like this, and I don't give an absolute shit about it. But back then I did. And I've taken this with me as well into work and careers and trying to fit in, trying to be, again, like, because I dropped out of uni. So in my friendship group, people say it all the time. They're like, how have you done so much? Like, I'm on to my 4th job in just over 2 years. And people think, how have you done so much? How have you done that? Because I think there's still a bit in me that wants to outshine everyone, but also outshine myself and impress myself. There's always that aspect of impressing someone or asking for validation or approval from someone. And I think it is myself. I didn't think it was my parents, and for a while I was like, maybe it is other people, but it's asking for that acceptance from myself, which is really sad when I think about it. But that's why I'm going into this new job, as I've mentioned, with a completely different mentality. I'm not reinventing myself for this job. I've not chosen a different mindset to have, but I've done it from what I've learned. And that's kind of how I want to talk to you about everything today. We go through things for a reason. I'm not going to be how I was quite, back in the day when the podcast started, I was all about, I guess, spirituality. I want to say, like, the universe does this, everything happens for a reason, law of attraction. I still believe in that kind of, but again, I was jumping on a trend back then too. So it's interesting how that evolved, but thinking about everything happens for a reason. Like, we all go through things for a reason. I strongly believe that. You know, I went through my eating disorder so that I could one day feel comfortable in my body, and that's not 100% just yet, but I went through that to then also be able to share this with you. Everything I've learned is for a reason. I've had 2 jobs now, which I'm I'm fortunate to have gone through it at such a young age, but also I wish I didn't have to. My industry in social media and marketing is very catty, it's very toxic, it's very bitchy, it's fighting your way to the top because, as a woman, the men are still the top position. The CEOs, the head of the team, the head of marketing, they're all still male in a lot of places, especially in big corporate-based companies. And I'm not making this about men and women, but, I thought I'd mention it. It is true. I've kind of entered this world where it's still a thing, but people are pushing against it. But in my opinion, it's not going to change anytime soon. Unfortunately, I'd like to believe it will, but I don't think it will. But with this, I've entered the world where I was like, I want to do social media. And I absolutely love the industry. I do a freelance business alongside everything I do, so I must love it. I love working in it. I love being able to do it in my own time, to do it as a full-time job too. But I'm disappointed in that industry, in the world, that I've had to learn through 2 very toxic workplace culture jobs that I've had to leave. I've had to leave these jobs that, they were at brands that I thought I'd love or companies that I thought I'd absolutely adore, and I didn't, and I had to leave. And I'm putting this out there for anyone else who's a young professional who, has done quite a lot in their time or starting in a different industry. It is so difficult. It is. But I've been through that to kind of tell you guys how to not be when you're in that kind of culture. My new job is going to be way more corporate. I'm already prepared for that. Well, not quite prepared. I've tried not to think about it. My last job was very corporate. It was very much like, okay, we don't actually really care about you. Whenever you mention mental health, it'd be like, oh, no, can't do that. But I am lucky to have gone through that so that I know now as a young professional what I'm not going to stand for going forward in a company. And with my experience, I can afford to do that to an extent. But then I know I'm only 21. I'm still very young. But to have these opportunities is still amazing. And I still pride myself on that because I'm like, I have done a lot in my time. And, in a few years' time, I'm going to go freelance. That's what I want to do. But what I'm trying to say is that I've had to learn, and this is the biggest thing I've learned, I think, in my whole life, even over my ED and all of that. I've had to learn that mental health is way more worthy, or is worth way more than a job. And I've said this in a few episodes recently, but this is what I've learned, and this is what I'm taking with me into this new job. My new job is just going to be that. It's going to be a job, okay? It's going to be as simple as working, it won't be 9 to 5. I will be working overtime some days, but simple as when I get to work, I work. When I leave work, I don't. Okay, yeah, I've got my freelance stuff on the side, but I'm going to make a plan to just do that on a weekend or pick, a Monday evening to do it, to really kind of have that time management. Because as I've said over the last month, I've had so much self-care or socializing or doing other things that I still want to incorporate in it, because I've realized I do love that side of me. I do love that spontaneous, oh, do you want to go play hockey today? Do you want to go to a field today to go play random ball games? Like, I love that side of me too. So I'm trying to incorporate that in work, and I'm not going to, easier said than done. But we all saw how I was in my last job and how ill I got mentally and physically because of stress. And I'm not saying that's just me. It was also the company to blame. But obviously my overachieving, I've got to do everything right, I've got to do extra work, born from school, that I carried with me, and it affected me so much that I had to leave my job. And that is not on. Like, that's not fair. That is on me, I guess. I'm letting stress affect me. But what is the main message there is that I won't, people say don't let your personal life affect work. You'll hear that from bosses in corporate businesses a lot. But the actual message there is not to let work affect your personal life. You work, okay, you work more than you do other things, yeah? But make sure you sleep more than you work, as an example. Make sure you fit in that self-care time. I love the diagram of, I'm going to do an episode on this soon as well, of the different rules out there. But the diagram of 8 by 8 by 8 in a day, to make 24 hours in a day. 8 hours of work, 8 hours of sleep, and 8 hours of self-care. When I first looked at it, I was like, how can you fit that all in? Like, where does the self-care go? Like, when do you sleep? But when you think about it, that is the perfect way to live, Okay, not under a really strict regime, like when it hits 8 hours of working, you have to stop. But it's so interesting to follow that kind of side of things. I'm not doing it because, today is about not following routines, not following trends, not jumping on the new wellness trend out there, like things like drinking your greens or journaling and stuff like that. They're all good for you. They're all beneficial, but I'm staying away from all of that now. And as much as this 8 by 8 by 8 thing I do like, I'm not going to follow it. I've learned now that routines aren't really for me, but I am really excited to get back into work and try and build a routine that's not toxic. That includes self-care, that includes nutrition, but not in a way that 5 a.m. I'll do this, 4:30 I'll do this, and by 9 a.m. I would have done all this and make sure I tick it off each morning. I'm not doing it like that. I'm doing it because I want to do it. I say, I'll try get journaling done in the morning. If I don't, doesn't matter. I'll try get out for a walk once a day. If I don't, it doesn't matter. Things like that, like things that I'd like to do, but if I'm busy or I oversleep or I just don't want to do it, that's fine too. Like, people talk about discipline. But if I go back to what I was saying earlier about we're entering, well, I thought we were, this soft girl era, that's what I want to hold on to too. Like, I'm doing things slower. I'm not going to let work affect me as much because it's just a job. That's all it is. And obviously commuting to London and working in a much more corporate place is going to have an effect on me. So I want to make sure I'm prepared now. But I've not put the pressure on to make sure I'm prepared before I go to work. When I heard that I'm not actually in London on Monday, it took that stress off me, and I can still have a chill weekend because I'm just going to wake up Monday morning and log on online at home. And I'm really excited to do that. What I'm trying to say in this episode is try not to jump on bandwagons. Try not to jump on trends. A massive trend right now is still this hustle culture, the 5 a.m. club. Try not to do it. I know, if I'm looking forward to be a London girl, as I said, but I know how easy it is to fall into that commuter 5 a.m. routine of going to the gym, going for a run, cycling to work. And it is easy to fall into that trap and then getting burnt out because you're doing too much. I'm thankful that I'm only in twice a week, so hopefully I won't be like that. But for my addictive personality, my obsessive personality, my need to follow trends, as much as I've kind of stepped away from that, I'm still influential, I think that's the right word. I'm still going to be influenced by other people. So I'm trying my best to stay in this soft girl, taking it slow, that kind of mindset that it doesn't actually matter at the end of the day. I work to earn money. That's all a job is. And I think I've learned from the last 2 jobs, unfortunately, I don't want to climb the career ladder. I'm happy to dot around a few jobs for a few years, do freelancing on the side, and when that becomes big, I'll just do that. And that's my plan. Like, again, I'm not putting 500% effort into building my business at the moment because I'm doing it alongside it. I'm doing it, if I see a post on Facebook on a local group, if someone wants some help in socials for not like peanuts, like I'm happy to do stuff for free for some charities as well. Like, I'll do that alongside it just to build up that portfolio, get some bigger names on there too, and that's what I'm doing. So going into this new job, just like anything, like going into a new school year or a new university year, take that pressure off you. Instead of kind of judging, if we're going into summer, like how you look, how you act, how many friends you have, all these random things, take a step back and think, I'm excited for the summer. I've got a holiday booked. I don't need to lose weight for it. I don't need to go get a new bikini for it. I have a bikini at home. I'm good enough the way I am. Flip it around that way. That all summer is going on holiday. You've got a holiday booked, fabulous. Go enjoy it. Go and eat loads of food. Go and play in the sea. Go do things that you wouldn't do at home. So if you're following a strict diet, like you would do at home, ignore it for the week. Ignore it forever, in fact. Get rid of the diet. But just please try and let go of this urge to just follow everyone else. Even with booking a holiday, if everyone's going to Greece this year, you don't have to if you don't want to. You don't have to be trendy in that way. But use this time over the summer, whether you are at school or uni still as well, or also if you've booked like a 2-week holiday and you're getting back into work at some point as well, you don't need to go back and change yourself completely. No one cares. Honestly, the only person that cares is you. Sure, there'll be some of those people that comment on you if you don't have the latest iPhone or something like that, but it doesn't matter. All of this is materialistic. What matters is you and the worth that you have for yourself. Don't tie it to how you look. Don't tie it to how much you've grown or how much, or maybe that's a good one to tie it to, but or how much work you've done or where you are on the career ladder. None of that matters nowadays. Like, people could say to me, you've had 4 jobs in 2 years. That's quite a lot. But when I get into the career world, like when I get into that first day or that interview, no one has mentioned that. Because they see, oh, she's young, she's done a lot. I like that. No one cares how much you've done or how little you've done, okay? All that matters is what you think you've done and how well you've performed. If someone doesn't see that, that's their loss. So this summer or whenever, it's not about seasons as well, don't change yourself for other people or for yourself. Stay as you are, if you want to have a change, that's fine too. If you are going to a wedding and you want to lose that weight, do that too, but in a safe way, please, and make sure, I'm not going to encourage people to do that, but if you want to do it, that's fine. But make sure you're doing everything for the right reason. Make sure you pick that job for the right reason. Make sure you've done that for the right reason, because that's what it comes back to at the end of the day. But on that note, I'm going to leave it here. I will let you guys know if you follow me on socials. It's at Pepetto by Elena on Instagram and TikTok. I will let you guys know how I get on with my new job. I am excited now. I'm excited to get back to it. I'm actually more excited to wear office wear again. But very excited for all of those kind of things. So I will let you guys know how it is. And I'm going to go get my nails done. I'm also hungry, so I do need to go eat something. And yeah, have a wonderful summer. I mean, I'm going to speak to you before that, but have a wonderful time if you're going away, doing things with your friends. Enjoy the weather, enjoy this time to, beer gardens, go do it. Who cares? Go drink on a weekend, go drink in a week. Who cares? It's not about drinking, I know, but go out in the week, go do stuff, book a day off from work and just go somewhere. Do things that are a bit different. Don't know till you try it, do different things and look after you. I'll speak to you guys soon and have a great week. Bye!